Hello viewers, welcome to my channel History Hub. Today we will now about the history of United States, Part 10. As a strong opponents of the war, the Federalists held the Hartford and Convention in 1814 that hinted uh, these sanctions and nation Europe after the victory at New Orleans. I ran it prestige of the Federalist and they longer applied and scientific rule as the political party. And President Madison's at most and Republicans and realized they are wire and foolish. Too late, a bank of the United States closed down for the absence and greatly hindered into financing of the war. So assistance for working the bankers of the Chartered of the Second Bank of the United States in 1816. The Republican also imposed and traffics uh, this designs to protect to the infant and industrials that had been created when Britain was blocking the US. With the pace of the Federalist as a party, the adoptions of many Federalist and principles by the Republicans and systematic policy of President James and monarchs in his tour and trams 1817 and 1825 to downplay and partnership the nation entered two era of good and feelings with the war and partnership then before the after and closed out of the fast and party system. The monarchs and doctrine and expired in 1823 and proclaimed it the United States opinion that European powers should no longer and colonies were entered before and Americans. Was a declining movement in the foreign policy with the United States. The monarchs and doctrine was adopted in response to American and British favors over Russian for Francis and expansion into the Western and Hampshire in 1832 and President Andrew Jackson, seventh President of the United States and ran for a second term under the slogan and Jackson and no bank. I did not renew to the Chartered of the Second Bank of the United States of America, ending the bank in 1836 and Jackson was convinced the central banking was used by the elite to take advantage of the Arabs American and instead implement state and bank popularly known the pet banks. In 1830, Congress passed in the Indian Removal Act, which authorizes the presidents to the negated treaties that against Native American and tribal lands in the eastern and stateful lands and west of the Mississippi River. Its goal of primarily to the remove Native Americans, including the five and civilization tribe from the Americans and South, the wealth occupied that the state wanted. Jackson documents and demanded the forcible removal of native population who and refused the two enclosed and state and revolution in the west and weighing the regulations and leaders and opposed and as inhumans and thousands of the dates of resulted from the recollections as the crook and trials and the tears. The trials of the tears and resulted in approximately 2000 and 8,000 of the 16,543 relocated Cherokee and piercings along the way. And many of the civilians and Indian for Florida refused to move and watched the foot of the army for the years in the Seminoles War. After the first party and system and Federalists and the Republicans withered and away in the 1820, the stage was the stage of emergency of the new party system and based on well organized and local parties that applied for the votes of almost adults and white, the former and Jennifer's unions and Democratic and Republican Party split into the functions and the split over the choice of successors to president and James monarchs and the party and functions that supported many of the old and Jeffersonian and principles led by Under and Jackson and Martin Denver and became the domestic party as the North explained the transformations in 1828 and Jacksonians and believed the people's will had finally prevailed it and throughout the lavishly financed collection of state and parties and political leaders and newspaper editors and popular movement had been elected the president. The Democrats became the nation empire while an organized national party and tight and party organization became the hallmark of 19th century American politicals. Opposing factions led by Henry Clay held from the Y Party, a Democratic Party, and small but undesired advantage over the Whigs until the 1850, when the Whigs fell the part of the use of slavery behind the farmers and used to the state and nationality and parties stood widely shared and political outlook and targeted this and Democrats. The Democrats and representative and a wide and range, which by star shared Jeffersonians and concept the agrarian society, the viewed and central government as the employed of by individual liberty. The 1820, 1824 and corporate and bargain hand and strengthened and their association with Washington political suggestion creates and the concept economics and political power. The belief that and government and intervention in the economics and benefit a specific interested groups and created and incorporated on monopolies and that provide and the rich and though saw and restored the independence of individual the common man high artisans and the ordinary farmer by ending and supporting of blanks and corporations and restricting the use of paper currency which the distrusted their definition the proper and government and tendered the negative election political power was large and expensive in the negative acts. He excited his veto and the previous and president combined and Jackson and these supporters also opposed and reforms as a movement and reformers urged to turn their programs into the legislations called from more their active government but document Democrats tended to ops and programs like educational reform and the establishment of public and education system. They believed of instance and that public school and restricted individual liberty by interfering with parental and responsibility and underdeminated culture of the Jackson. He shared and reformed and humanitarian and concerns. He had sympathy for the American Indians, intending the remove for the Quakers and along the trail of cheers. The great majority of anti-slavery activities such as Abraham Lincoln and Mr. Walters rejected and Garrison's and theology theology and that shall be was unfortunately social evil and what a sin. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. Goodbye.